Today we have to talk about Caitlyn and Tyler Balteria from the season finale of Teen Mom: The Next Chapter. This video is for entertainment purposes only. There is so much to talk about when it comes down to the season finale of Teen Mom: The Next Chapter with Caitlyn Balteria and their biological daughter Carly's parents, Brandon and Teresa, because they were going to give Caitlyn and Tyler a video to watch of Carly singing, only if they watched it while they were filming for the show. I have so much to say about this, but before I get into it, if you would like to check out my other videos that I have made on the Teen Mom castmates, I will have it linked down below. In my last video about Caitlyn and Tyler, I had some things to say about some of the decisions that they have been making surrounding Carly and things that I feel that they have done and said that are unfair and even unhealthy for the situation at hand. So if you guys would like to check that video out, I will have it linked down below, because I definitely think this is one of those situations where both parties are doing things that are hurtful to the other. However, I do understand where Brandon and Teresa are coming from with many things. This, on the other hand, I have things to say that I feel like I understand where Tyler and Caitlyn are coming from in certain situations when it comes down to this video of Carly singing, but I also understand Brandon and Teresa's point of view as well. So we're going to go ahead and hop right into that today, and I'm going to be showing you some clips from this episode if you did not see it, to give context for what we're talking about. Now, before I get into it, a lot of people who are not on Caitlyn and Tyler's side are saying things like, I swear they think Brandon and Teresa were just babysitting Carly. Adopted child here. This whole situation is crazy to me. They are not her parents. Brandon and Teresa are. Why is everyone going around like Carly was stolen and they are entitled to access? It is beyond me how Caitlyn and Tyler do this. It's so unhealthy for everyone. Caitlyn needs intense therapy to understand the adoption and letting go of her guilt. She will never be at peace. This is the situation that happened on the season finale that has everybody talking right now. Caitlyn and Tyler did a Zoom or video call with Dr. Drew.
Me going into this video session with Dr. Drew, hope that communication can be restored. Can tell her, hey, love you, thinking about you. So I don't know, we'll see. Hey, Dr. Drew.
Hello, Dr. Drew.
Since our last conversation, right, I did talk to Brandon and Teresa. Brandon was like, this kid is thriving and she has friends and she's athletic and she's musical and she's doing all these wonderful things.
My mind automatically, when you said those things, it goes, wow, well, thanks for keeping that beautiful girl for me.
I don't think that's the intent. I don't think that's
how it feels.
I understand that's how it feels. I understand.
We can't ever say we're not grateful for them, raising her.
You got to go through the baby steps, but you are encouraged to send gifts on Christmas and birthdays and when gifts are completely appropriate, right?
Well, we have not been told that. The last thing that I heard was do not.
If that is new information, I want you to have that.
Okay, great. And I'm really appreciative of the information. I think what it comes down to is that I'm hearing the information from you and not the two we made an agreement with, which is weird to me.
And in this call, Dr. Drew proceeds to tell them that there is a video that MTV was given from Brandon and Teresa of Carly singing, and they were going to let them watch this video on the show.
As part of this reset, they shared something very important with me, something rather moving and remarkable from your daughter. She sings in church. She's quite an accomplished singer, and they recorded a song of hers. I would love to listen with you because it is so moving. It does kind of feel like Carly's sending a message of, I'm good. Do you guys want to hear it?
Caitlyn and Tyler were a little bit thrown off by this in the moment, and they asked if they could watch the video in private and that they didn't feel comfortable watching it on camera. I also want to say this too, because I feel that this is extremely important to note. I feel that Teen Mom and MTV, they take advantage of these, young parents when they first have the child. Now they're adults, but at the time they were young parents, and they take advantage of their very vulnerable moments where they're still teenagers giving birth to their first children. They have filmed so many inappropriate things, and they do it for ratings and for money on their show, and at the end of the day it's extremely toxic. So I do have my own beef with MTV as well, because they've had a relationship with Caitlyn and Tyler for a really long time, and they still decided to take this video without their knowledge and film their reaction to knowing that it exists and that they can watch it on TV without giving them any sort of warning that this was coming. I feel that that is extremely exploitive to this entire situation, and that's at the forefront of it to me, because MTV is taking advantage of people in their vulnerable moments, and I don't like that.
I have shared with Brandon and Teresa for multiple years, and even at the last visit, how I would love to have a video of her singing.
Or violin.
Has Risa ever given them to me, but now she'll give them to you on TV? Like,
Anyway,
I've asked for those things. Speaking for my own mental health right now, that it's very triggering for me to listen to those things. I'm not ready to listen to it. I want to be able to listen to it in private.
The way that Dr. Drew is talking about this video shows that he's already seen it, and I just think that that's so completely inappropriate, because if Carly was trying to send a message that she's doing really well and she wanted them to hear it, there is a complete lack of empathy towards the fact that they're going to have their own feelings to this situation. It honestly is disturbing to me and messed up that MTV was allowed to watch this video first, and that Dr. Drew is saying, like, I would like to watch this extremely moving video with you. Like, he has any involvement in this situation at all. I can honestly see entirely where Caitlyn and Tyler are coming from with this. I think this whole thing was exploitive to Caitlyn and Tyler and inappropriate, and dare I say disrespectful as well.
The whole thing regarding the song and stuff is just super confusing for me, because we've had this whole issue really early on about public being involved in adoption, and at first they could see her face, her in 4, and they said no more face, just the back of her head. It's gotten to a point where they didn't like us talking about adoption at all. All of a sudden we want to share her voice, share her song publicly.
Make you look good, you're going to say, here's a song that Carly wanted to give to you, but you can only listen to it on camera.
The intention didn't feel good.
I feel like if Carly really wanted it to be a gift,
Give me the gift. I just feel like the intention feels manipulative. I'm sorry. I got from the conversation was Carly wants us to have this song. Regret placing my kid for adoption.
They're then responding with confusion about this, because Brandon and Teresa, in their own right, have been very upfront about the fact that they don't want Carly on the internet when someone else is the one putting her out there. I totally respect that, because Carly is their daughter and they have every right to decide what videos go up and what pictures go up. They're within their right to do that. That is their daughter. It's not Tyler and Caitlyn's daughter. So even though Caitlyn and Tyler are biologically her parents, they shouldn't be able to make decisions when it comes down to what videos are shown and whatnot. So I understand their perspective from that side of it. I feel that they have said in the past that essentially they just want to be in control over what is being posted or said, and don't want Caitlyn and Tyler to feel like they have the right to post whatever they want about Brandon and Teresa's daughter without their knowledge. It is interesting that they don't want her a part of the show, but they only wanted to show this video on the show. I do find that to be interesting. Now, Caitlyn and Tyler did not know what they were going to air on the show. So before the last episode aired, where they knew that they were going to be airing bits and pieces of this situation where they were told they could watch this video, they jumped the gun to make their own post about it before people jumped to conclusions. And then after that, they attached a letter that they had given to Brandon and Teresa that we will read later. But before this episode aired, they wrote, "Never chose to not listen to the song. We were actually super excited, very touched, and we couldn't wait to hear it. But this was all thrown onto us out of nowhere with MTV's setup. We never pursued Dr. Drew's help on our own. This was all MTV's idea, since their producers were the only ones that our biological daughter's parents were willing to speak with about all of this. Their original plan was to have MTV film them and their family, as long as MTV didn't have them talk about the adoption while filming, which MTV didn't think made sense, so they compromised behind the scenes with this song idea. The first time Kate ever heard her sing prior to this became a very emotionally intense day, so recognizing this and wanting to prepare ourselves, all we asked was to first give us a moment to listen in private. That way we could collect/process ourselves a bit, and then we could listen and play it on camera afterwards like they wanted. When we asked for the gift that their daughter wanted us to have, they said the only way to hear the gift is if we listened to it on camera, and that we weren't actually allowed to have it personally. We were so confused and hurt about why they would say that they have this beautiful gift to give us, only to never plan on really giving it to us in the first place, even though that's what their daughter wanted. It was truly heartbreaking to have something so special just dangled in front of us, to then have it ripped away like that. Navigating an adoption as a birth parent is so difficult, especially with such a constant and balanced power dynamic. Birth parents are always at the mercy of the adopters, which is understandable since we're the ones that relinquished our baby to them. But that still doesn't make it any less hard or painful. As I've stated before, we won't be mentioning our biological daughter or her parents anymore, and that's why we're actually relieved that this episode is airing, so that way we can just move forward. To my knowledge, what the video contained was Carly singing a song that she wrote wrote about being adopted, and they wanted this to be aired and Caitlyn and Tyler to watch it on camera, and they have the right to decide what is put out there or not. I can see how Tyler and Caitlyn would make them feel like in a way they were being controlled in that situation, that they were only allowed to see their daughter if it was recorded. To be honest, from my side of it, even though Brandon and Teresa have the full right to choose what is out there or not out there, I do find it strange that they only wanted this video to be played to them if the whole world had access to seeing it. I'm not understanding that. To me, it then seems like it's not a video for Caitlyn and Tyler, it's a video for the world. And if it's a video for the world, just go ahead and post it on social media and Caitlyn and Tyler will then see it as well. It's a little bit strange to me, like that they gave the MTV producers this video and are only going to let them see it if they'll get their first reaction on camera. I do feel like that's kind of emotionally manipulative, because even though Carly is their daughter and they have a right to what they show or don't show, they also in these situations can't control Caitlyn and Tyler in the sense of you're only going to be able to see her if we can get your raw reaction on camera, because I mean, at the end of the day, they do have feelings about it too, even though she is not their daughter. Like, those feelings aren't just going to go away, and I feel like there's so many layers to it that it's very complicated, and it's easy from the outside to just look at it from one side, but I also feel like there's so many feelings involved. At the end of the day, with all of that being said, I do think that Brandon and Teresa obviously have the rights to how they want Carly to be presented on camera, if they even want her to be on camera. They also have the right to decide if Caitlyn and Tyler have access to her at all. They have the right to decide what videos Caitlyn and Tyler see. They are within their full control and right as parents to Carly, who I believe is only 15 or 16 years old. They're within their rights to decide how they want to go about that entire situation. So I'm not stepping on their toes with that, but I definitely feel like there is a bit of a lack of empathy to their feelings. I'm not saying that they need to only care about their feelings or make decisions based on Caitlyn and Tyler's feelings. I'm just not understanding why they were trying to force them to react to this video for the show. I feel that that comes off exploitive to other people's mental health. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody can explain to me why or what the importance is in them not being able to have pictures and videos of Carly at all, except this one time if they film it, like what is the point in them needing it to be on camera if it is for them? So Caitlyn and Tyler posted their response to Teresa and Brandon on their social media, and in that they said, "Thank you for reaching out with a message. We very much appreciate that you took the time to do that for us. As far as Carly's song, it is such a beautiful gift and so meaningful. We just asked if we could listen to it in private first because it brings a lot of emotions and sadness. It's so beautiful to listen to her, but it also brings up a lot of feelings. So we are just asking to listen to it privately first and process the inevitably intense feelings that come from it. But you need to understand that this also creates a lot of confusion for us because you get upset that we speak about our adoption story publicly, but simultaneously want us to share a very personal song regarding our adoption story nationally on television for the whole world, which we will inevitably have to talk about publicly. It's confusing because you don't want us to have the song to ourselves, even though that's what Carly wants, but yet you want the whole world to have it and are using TV to do so, even though you've claimed many times that you do not want to be a part of TV. So I hope you understand how that can make us feel stuck, confused, controlled, and manipulated, regardless of if that was your intent or not. We are incredibly sorry that if anything we have said about our truth as birth parents has hurt you or Carly or negatively impacted your life. It was never our intention. As far as speaking about adoption as a whole, we will always speak about adoption, share the facts, share adoptees' great stories and adoptees' bad stories. So we will always speak about adoption. We just won't speak about our own adoption journey moving forward. However, we believe that our advocacy for adoptees and adoption education should not have any impact on reconciliation efforts unless you choose to make it that way. But at the end of the day, this reconciliation effort isn't for you or us. It's for Carly and what she needs and wants. So we cannot allow any of our own personal pain and insecurities to get in the way of that. We're adults here, and it's our job to put everything aside for the best interest of Carly, which requires open, honest, and transparent communication. So we hope moving forward, you will participate in that requirement. I definitely feel like a lot of this stuff should not be online. I think that Brandon, Teresa, Caitlyn, and Tyler should all be handling this behind the scenes. I don't feel that this stuff should be online for Carly's sake, because at the end of the day, this is her parents and her biological parents that are feuding recording for the entire world to see. And I mean, for a young teenage girl, that can be a very difficult thing to know how to navigate. And I honestly feel for her. You know, she has to have friends and people around her that see this stuff online because people her age have social media. And it's just really sad because there's a bunch of adult people who just keep speaking for her, and she's going to get to a place where she can speak for herself. I just feel bad that all of this is all online and on TV instead of behind closed doors where they're all having personal phone calls about the situation. I get though that can make things difficult if Brandon and Teresa set a boundary and then Caitlyn and Tyler are crossing that online. At the end of the day, if that happens, then it has to be online. I just wish that all four of them would handle it privately for the sake of Carly. I don't think that this stuff needs to be online or on social media. I feel like it's not what's best for her. Like, at the end of the day, we should not be hearing these conversations at all. We should not be seeing the communication back and forth, the emails that are sent, the messages that are sent. That is stuff that should be personal to them. But it's all being posted online for all of us to see, but it only involves one person, and that is Carly. And so if it's for the best interest of Carly, why is everybody putting all this stuff on the internet? It just feels counterproductive. I don't know. I did feel that them wanting to release this song of Carly singing, it did feel a little bit controlling. I don't understand why they wanted them to see it only if it was being recorded. It feels a little bit emotionally manipulative, and I do agree with Tyler and Caitlyn on that fact because it's like they wanted their reaction to be recorded, and I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, if they wanted it to be recorded for Carly to see, then they could have asked them to privately record their reactions and send it to them. I'm not understanding it, and I do feel that it was a bit controlling. When it comes to everything else, I'm on Brandon and Teresa's side because it's their child. But at the end of the day, I also think that it is unfair to tell Tyler and Caitlyn that they can't talk about their own personal adoption process when that is their story. I feel like they should be able to talk about it as long as they're not doing it in a way that is exploitive to Carly. It's not too hard to believe that Brandon and Teresa might be trying to control certain situations surrounding Carly, because I can assume that whenever you adopt a child, there can be elements of that might make you feel like you don't have much control. And so I understand from that perspective as well. Now, I've also seen a lot of things floating around on the internet pertaining to the reason why Caitlyn and Tyler gave Carly up for adoption. A lot of people have been speculating that Caitlyn gave Carly up for adoption because Tyler didn't want to keep her, and there is a lot of evidence to suggest that that may perhaps have been the reason.
I mean, yeah, at times I was afraid of being a mom, but I was really excited and sometimes looking forward to having her.
Yeah, remember that 2 weeks that you were like, I'm like keeping her, I'm done with this, I'm not doing this anymore. Were you like, I never asked you, but were you afraid of losing me if you kept her?
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely afraid that if I parented her, you were just going to leave me. And against your decision, that you were just going to leave me. That was something I was seriously afraid of. Like, I was like, well, if I take Carly from the hospital, Tyler's just going to leave.
I understand it, but at the end of the day, dude,
it's my decision.
It was completely
but
up to you.
But you are lucky that I took your decision in consideration.
I was just telling your mom that I thought you might appreciate her support and her just being there to hear what it is that you guys are signing to. How do you feel about that?
Last week she was keeping the baby. This week she's not. So, you know, how am I supposed to feel?
You feel like you've had some conflicting messages.
Yes, I have. I have a basket not have clothes at my house because she told me she was keeping her. I feel she's giving her up because of Tyler, and that's what my honest truth feeling.
It's not.
Well, that's how I feel.
When I was going to give Lexus up, and the adopted parents were there with their own room in the car seat and talking about the nursery they got for her. They just got done with it. It was like, oh, sweet, sweet. I mean, I didn't have no plan B or anything. And then Matt was like, no, let's just keep her. And I was like, dude, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Like, I was actually scared, even though I knew he had a job and he'd be able to take care of her. But so, have you and Tyler, you guys are 100% sure on the adoption?
Yeah, but I don't know if Tyler told you, though, did he?
I know.
How I, fell back on it for a little while.
Yeah, he told me a little bit.
Yeah, that was bad.
What?
Why were you mad? No, I wasn't mad. I just wanted to keep her.
Oh, yeah.
For like
it's only natural.
For like a couple days, I was like, nope, I'm keeping her. That's it. I was like, nope, there's no way. I'm not going back.
Does it make you, I'm going to give her up so you can be with my brother, or?
And I mean, no. I mean, I wouldn't want your brother to leave me, but I mean, if he did, then there's nothing I can do about it anyways.
Yeah. No, he doesn't really say too much about that.
To me, he's just like, I think we'd break up just because all his stress and just like.
I don't know.
Did he ever have second thoughts?
Yeah, Tyler, he does.
I don't know.
He does a lot, actually, but he just brings himself back.
I regret placing my kid for adoption. I'm sorry.
Why are you saying you're sorry?
I'm just sorry. I'm so sorry for you.
You don't have to be sorry for me.
Yeah, but baby, yours. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
You don't need to apologize. I had you.
I mean, if you rewind back on the show, her mom said that she was told that she was going to be keeping her, so she had a bassinet and clothes and all sorts of things for the baby. So there was a lot of back and forth on if she was going to be kept or not. I also want to say their home life was horrific. If you watched the old episodes of 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom, they were in very abusive situations where there wasn't only abuse and toxicity with their parents, but there was also a lot of drugs and alcohol and addictions. There was a lot of things that they truly wanted to protect Carly from. So they had very valid reasons for why they chose to give her up for adoption. And so I feel like speculating on that is very unfair, because even if Tyler is the one that wanted to put her up, he still had a really good reason for wanting to do so, because there's a lot of kids that are born that should be put up for adoption and are not, and then they grow up with horrible home lives because of it. And I feel at the end of the day, they were trying to protect her. If she did decide to give Carly up for adoption to keep a boyfriend, that could definitely be something that would be difficult to handle as an adult, especially now that they have children together. The show ended up taking off in a way that they never could have expected, and maybe had they known that, they would have kept her. But at the end of the day, you can't go back and rewind time. Like, this is the decision that was made. I will always feel bad for them that they thought they were going to end up having an open adoption and that things were manipulated behind the scenes to the point where they didn't know that Brandon and Teresa would actually have a right to revoke that at any point. I definitely feel like they should have been made aware of that. And so I can see where they come from, believing that they were manipulated and taken advantage of at a young age. It's just a sad situation all around, because no matter what, you can't go back and rewind time. And all four of these adults and the child are all going to have their own feelings about it at the end of the day. Regardless of what any of our opinions are, they're all going to feel their own ways about it. But I will always come from the side that I don't think a child's business should be put online or on TV in any way, shape, or form, because I don't think it's what's healthy or right for the child. And I especially feel for Carly, because who knows how this stuff affects her behind the scenes. I have a video coming up on Amber Portwood, so definitely subscribe if you like the Teen Mom tea, because I have a lot more to spill, and I will be seeing you soon for another video.